Cool. So, do you want to just real quick, Bart, when we start, just give me like who you are, 2 minutes.
All right. I was born in Ventura, California, but I lived in Fillmore, California, which is like 30 minutes away, like right on the beach. Then I moved to this icy hellhole when I was 10. Wyoming. I moved to Warland, Wyoming, where all my family was, where my grandparents grew up. Probably the biggest family in the town. Yeah, I moved there when I was 10, graduated. Then I came to college here a couple years ago. I'm a junior now. I'm a sociology major. Probably doing things I shouldn't be doing sometimes, but we're chugging along.
That's college. Okay, cool. So, when we talk about art, or when people talk about art, that means a whole lot of things, like movies, music, visual art, literature. There's a lot. When you think of art, what do you think of? What speaks most to you?
Well, a lot of things do speak to me, and I think art's in pretty much everything.
Yeah.
But to me, movies are one of the most important forms of art in my life.
Cool. And any specific ones that you really point to as like, oh my god?
Well, pretty much throughout my life, I've had like different movies like throughout like different times in my life that I like were really important, or like that I remember really vividly.
Yeah, absolutely.
The first movie I ever watched, I was pretty inappropriate for like a 5 or 6 year old, but it was Pulp Fiction.
Oh my god.
Watched it with my dad, and then about Saving Private Ryan came out in '99. And that was like the second movie I just vividly remember watching.
Yeah, when you were 7.
When I was 7.
Up, yeah.
Yeah, and all you remember from that is the first 10 minutes of that movie, where it's just the Germans.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
Cutting down guys.
Yeah.
But then when I got a little older, I became more into movies like Shawshank Redemption. It's not saying like those other movies weren't deep, or for older audiences, but I started getting more.
There's a balance with art where it's like entertainment versus message, I want to say, but that's kind of shallow. Like, do you feel that way about movies, or?
I think a lot of movies do have like an agenda or a message they want to like push across, but then there's obviously like the popcorn movies.
Oh yeah.
Which I haven't been to probably like a movie like that, like an action movie or anything like that in a while. I wait for them to come out, if I even watch them at all. But the more like movies that I've gotten more into though, as I've gotten older, like documentaries, especially sports documentaries.
Interesting. Okay.
Like the ESPN 30 for 30s.
I was gonna say 30 for 30.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
My favorite one probably is the Bad Boys one.
Which one is that?
It's about the Detroit Pistons of the.
That's
the
right.
80s.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just. Because movies tell a story, and like with documentaries, like especially like that, there's a timeline, and for them to like show you how it like went down, if there was like a good ending, it's a perfect Cinderella moment.
Yeah.
Most of the time, or there are like bad endings that shows you like the real side of life.
Mm-hmm. Is it fair to say that you look for art reflecting in life a lot? Like you like the more nonfiction stuff. You like how art can kind of just show us, like it makes clear our lives. Like, is that fair? Like,
I think it is fair because like I do like the other like not just ones that like tell like a nonfiction like story. But I would say as I'm getting older, or I guess more knowledgeable, I look for those more and more.
Interesting. Okay. And you think it has to do with just the realism of it, or do you like know why?
I think connecting with it, like especially with like sports movies. Like I'm a big sports fan.
Yeah.
I love sports. Love playing sports. Love watching them. So it's just like a real like good thing, like a real thing for me, because like I can picture myself in that moment.
It's really easy to empathize. And, like,
yeah. Especially with like when stories end bad, you really just connect with like your problems, maybe with their problems, and you can do that with any movie too. Like fiction movies that just really like keep them connected to you.
I don't know who didn't cry in the first 10 minutes of Up. Like, yeah, that's animated.
Gosh.
Yeah.
No, I start with Pixar movies.
Yeah. No, please do. Yeah. So you started with Pulp Fiction, which I mean, age aside, we'll just ignore that for now.
Yeah.
But what really made that stand out to you? Like, what hooked you with that?
I think it was because, like, my dad, like, and I watched it together. I remember the whole thing, like, pretty much how it went down.
Yeah.
Same with Saving Private Ryan. But with Pulp Fiction, I think that's why I'm kind of, like, darker. Honestly, I really think it is. Like,
yeah.
my personality just matches that, and I think that kind of shaped how I, like, viewed stuff. And
no, that's totally, yeah.
And it's really easy for me to, like, watch movies like that or read stories that are darker or, like, have cynical sides to it. Like, it's really easy for me.
Yeah. It's hard to separate us from the art that we consume. Because like you said at the beginning, it's everywhere. Like, art's everywhere.
It's literally everything.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. So have you seen yourself, like, as you've grown, you say you've gone to, like, more documentary style. Are there certain things that really, like, certain themes or certain types of movies? You talk about, like, sports documentaries. Are there certain stories even within those that you just feel yourself really connecting with? Like,
stories, kind of hard to think about on the spot, but...
Well, you talked about the Bad Boys.
Yeah,
for instance. Like, is it just the sheer fun of watching that, like, chaotic team?
Yes,
yeah.
Like, from how it gives you the backstory of, like, the underdogs are terrible.
Yeah.
Which, and then they come up, they go to the championship 2 years in a row and, like,
Yeah.
lose, and then they finally win, like, 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And you can put yourself in moments in your life that have, like, maybe, like, where you didn't start out so strong in something, like I did in this class, maybe. and then you build up from that, and you succeed in the end.
Cool, yeah, it's that, like, overcoming and
Mm-hmm.
getting, yeah, okay, cool.
One of my favorite documentaries that has come out recently is the new Planet Earth. Because, I mean, Planet Earth 1 was incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the stuff they're using now, like drones, like, and all this other kind of technology to create, like if you saw the iguana getting chased by the snakes, you know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You can put yourself in the mind of the iguana, and it's just a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah, it's like it seems like we're getting closer and closer in the nonfiction, like, documentary style to naturalistic, realistic portrayals of stuff, if that's what a director's going for. But yeah, no, I think that's really interesting. Cool. So yeah, what do you think a world? It's hard in our modern culture and world, but can you imagine a world without movies and what that would look like?
Well, it would probably give me up some free time every day, for sure. But no, with more technology coming out, it's going to be easy just to create. I mean, you get CGI now and like anime and everything. It's just we're getting so many different kinds of, like, movies or TV shows now. It's like, where is it? Like, is it gonna stop? Probably not.
Yeah. Do you feel like if we didn't have this form of art, if we didn't have, like, this creative expression in the form of movies, like, what kind of impact do you think that has on our society?
I mean, I think like storytelling would be a lot different because, like, I think a lot of people, like, how people tell stories they see, like, in movies, and I think that aspect from people would probably go away.
Yeah.
Which would be terrible.
Yeah. And so just kind of getting an even bigger picture with it, if you can get a bigger picture than that, how do you feel like art plays into life and society and the world in general? Just
well, it's something that's been around for, I mean, ever, basically, in architecture, books, and everything, and it's never going to go away, and it shouldn't.
So it's hard to imagine.
It's I mean, every day, like, when you walk outside, and nature is art to a lot of people, and
absolutely, yeah.
It's something that you honestly can't take away from like a person.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine a world without it.
Cool. That's good. I think that's a good end. Yeah.